Hello viewers, welcome to the second section, Dependency Injection. In this section we will learn about understanding dependency injection, the Spring IOC container, creating a Spring IOC container, defining JUnit using the Spring context, unit testing with mocks, dependency injection types, and the auto-wired annotation in depth. Now we move on to the video, Understanding Dependency Injection. In this video we will look at how Business Service IMPL creates an instance of Data Service IMPL and how to make the code testable. We will start with writing a simple example, a business service talking to another data service. Most Java classes depend on other classes. These are called dependencies of that class. Let's open up Eclipse IDE. As you can see here, we have the Maven folder named Section 2 already imported in the Project Explorer. You can export the same Section 2 project folder as Maven project, and the code files are available in the code bundle. First, take a look at an example class, Business Service IMPL as shown. For that, click open the Business Service IMPL before refactoring .java file. Package is com.mastering.spring.business as seen here. So now we add a few lines of import statements for this file. The highlighted lines show the new statements that we have added. Next, we add a few more lines of code to this file. This is highlighted, as you can see on your screen. Typically, all well-designed applications have multiple layers. Every layer has a well-defined responsibility. The business layer contains the business logic. The data layer talks to the external interfaces and/or databases to get the data. In the example shown here, Data Service IMPL gets some data related to the user from the database. Business Service IMPL class is a typical business service talking to the data service IMPL for data and adding business logic on top of it. In this example, the business logic is very simple. It's exactly to calculate the sum of data returned by the data service. The business service IMPL depends on data service IMPL, so data service IMPL is a dependency of business service IMPL. Now let's focus on how Business Service IMPL creates an instance of Data Service IMPL, which is defined by this highlighted line. Business Service IMPL creates an instance by itself. This is tight coupling. Think for a moment about unit testing. One might need to do complicated things such as reflection to write a unit test. So this code shown on the screen is not testable. How do we make this code testable? The first thing we can do is to create an interface for Data Service IMPL. Instead of using the direct class, we can use the newly created interface of Data Service IMPL in Business Service IMPL. The next we will see is how to create an interface. For that, we open the dataservice.java file. The highlighted lines show how to create an interface. Save the file to keep the changes. Using interfaces helps in creating loosely coupled code. We can replace the wire with any implementation of an interface into a well-defined dependency. So now we are using the data service interface, but Business Service IMPL is still tightly coupled as it is creating an instance of Data Service IMPL. How can we solve that? How about Business Service IMPL not creating an instance of Data Service IMPL by itself? Can we create an instance of Data Service IMPL elsewhere and give it to Business Service IMPL? For that, we have already opened up the Business Service IMPL.java file. As you can see here, we have added a few import statements. We will update the code in Business Service IMPL to have a setter for data service. The calculateSum method is also updated to use this reference. We will decode the Business Service IMPL to have a set of data service. Add a few lines to this file. The calculateSum method is also updated to use this reference. So we have added the updated code now. You can see that Business Service IMPL can now work with any implementation of data service. It is not tightly coupled with a specific implementation, Data Service IMPL. To make the code even more loosely coupled, let's create an interface for Business Service. So, open the businessservice.java file, add a few lines to this file. The highlighted lines create an interface for the business service. Save the file. We also need to have Business Service IMPL updated to implement the interface. So we move on to the Business Service IMPL.java file and add this line just before the import statement. We can save the file now. In this video we have learned understanding dependency injection.